Hi everybody. I'm coming at you with something just a little bit different today. This video is not really focused on any book reviews as such. Let me sort of let you into what I'm talking about. I'm talking about ghosting. Ghosting, yeah. It's a new word that I've learned too. Ghosting, according to the Urban Dictionary, is when somebody you've been in a relationship with stops communicating with you. You know, it's all forms of communication are just stopped. You know, text, phone, email. It's all communication is stopped. It's almost as if that person who you believed cared about you never existed. Now, let me tell you something. I am being ghosted. Right? But I'm bemused because I've only just learned about this term. I learned about the term from my teenage daughter. You know, now what is surprising is that apparently this is quite common. You know, it's a sign of our times apparently. Even one of my girlfriends who's a lot older than me, she said, "Oh yeah, they were talking about it on Radio 1." And I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah." And it's absolutely disgusting behaviour. Ghosting. Now, I'm quite a resilient person. You know, I've had things happen to me throughout my life, you know, that has helped me sort of build resilience. But still, it really, really hurts. And that's sort of why I wanted to discuss this ghosting behaviour in this video, because it's really quite destructive, and it's extremely harmful, to the person who's left behind, if you like. Now, to the person that has been treated in this way, they are left feeling worthless, rejected, abandoned, used, manipulated, confused. Now, none of those emotions are actually nice emotions to feel. What is really devastating is that you question yourself. What did I do wrong? Did I do something to deserve this? Is this person even alive? You know? Because one minute they're there, and the next minute, poof, they're gone. You know, now when you've been in a relationship with someone, you really don't expect to be treated like this. Now, we as human beings can't control the way others treat us, although you have control whether you choose to allow the treatment. You cannot control another person's free will. So if the person you're dating decides, well, actually, you're not the person for me, or I'm not just feeling it, then that's fair enough, you know. We've all sort of ended relationships and decided it wasn't for us. But according to sources such as Psychology Today, the individual who uses ghosting as a technique for ending a relationship is usually deemed as being, what's the word, emotionally unintelligent. You know, you often find these such people, you know, like if you have a row with a partner, sometimes it's best not to discuss it there and then. Sometimes it's best to walk away and discuss it when people have calmed down. Well, some people won't discuss issues full stop. They avoid confrontation. It's like the avoidance of confrontation to such extent that it becomes a destructive technique within itself. Now, this is what the person who uses ghosting as a tool is doing. They're using a very destructive technique. You know, it's actually a bloody spiteful way of ending a relationship, a friendship, you know. So what is my, look at my hair, it's gone all sort of static. So what is my advice to you? My advice to you is not to waste another second on these people. You know, have your cry. You know, do your grieving, because when a relationship ends, it's like a bereavement. So have your cry. It has been found that people who grieve properly, i.e. allow themselves to grieve, are more emotionally secure, you know, because they've allowed the grieving process. So allow your grieving process. Then completely close the door. Do you know what I mean? Don't, once you've realised you've been ghosted, etc., take it for what it is. You know, see that this person has actually treated you this badly. And think to yourself, do I hell want any further to do with you? Do you know what I mean? Because absolutely not. Why would you want somebody in your life who could treat you so badly? You know, bear in mind that there were probably other symptoms. What do you mean by symptoms? Well, other clues. You know, because you got to think about it. You know, there probably were clues. Now, I'm sort of intuitive. How things come to me in my dream states. Patterns, I see patterns in things. For example, when I started researching what ghosting was, I found that it is very similar to a technique that narcissists also use, and that is giving the silent treatment. So that led me on to a different line of thinking. Now, I've been involved in narcissistic relationships before, In fact, my previous relationship to this one, I was involved in it with a narcissist for 6 years. So I should have been more aware, you know. But anyway, I noticed other traits, you know, such as controlling behaviour, love bombing, you know, I was love bombed on this relationship. Rushed intimacy, you know, he told me he loved me, realistically, far too soon on hindsight, but I was swept along. You know, controlling behaviour, sort of speaking badly of exes. He drew me in with sympathy. They all have similar symptoms. So how I'm helping myself is to think, God, I had a lucky escape. Remember, do not feel empathy for a person that has ghosted you. Don't try to make excuses for them. You know, you can spend years upon years wasting your time, your energy, making excuses for people. Perhaps they've got mental health issues, which are undiagnosed. Perhaps you're going to be the one that can help them on the anxiety medication that would be beneficial to their lives. Perhaps you can change them. Perhaps that nasty bitch before you just didn't understand him, or used to wind him up, or, you know, don't make excuses for him, because it's completely, you're never going to get anywhere, you know, because if he is a narcissist, then everybody else is completely beneath him. But do remember that he wanted to covet you. He initially saw something in you that he wanted. Remember, this is not your fault. You have not been the person that has treated somebody so badly. You are to blame, however, if you break the law seeking revenge. You continuously allow people to treat you in this utterly despicable manner. You know, and you have to own that for yourself. You know, I never agree with taking a sort of victim stance in life. You know, I believe we have a role to play as well. You know, obviously horrible things happen to us, but we have to keep our side of the road clean. Then finally, close the door, bolt the bugger, and never ever let that person back into your life.